All right, welcome back. Sean with Blue Ridge. Hope everyone's doing well and that you guys are continuing to collect and find some pretty big coins out there. I wanted to take some time to just kind of go through some of the more modern series, talk a little bit about some of the varieties, doubled dies, repunchment marks, things like that you could find today that are moving in the marketplace. Over the summer, we've seen the emergence of a couple really notable varieties. The 1984 doubled ear and the 1983 doubled die reverse. Specifically, these two coins have just been shooting up, and coins of that type are getting progressively harder to obtain at a reasonable amount of money. Used to be that each of those you could have gotten at one point under $100. And we're talking like some of the most recent kind of like opportunities here, probably 12 to 18 months ago, you could have very well obtained these coins for under $100. Not so much anymore. They're clear beyond that, and the overall general interest of coins like that has really kind of had a domino effect to some of the other coins since then. So we are going to take some time to talk about that today. Now, when it comes to identifying specific coins, okay, you could do one of two things. All right, you could spend endless amounts of hours and time scouring through all of the auction sites. eBay, Great Collections is another big one, because they do the weekly auctions, all right? And oftentimes you're going to see multiples of these coins become available out on the auction world. But also heritage auctions and a few others. And we're trying to gauge how much the coins would go for at various different levels. Now, there's really no easy way to capture this kind of information. Like I said, you could very easily spend many hours, countless exhausting amounts of time going through eBay and then going through Great Collections auction archives and things like that, and you might not be able to get all the information you need, and it's very time consuming. You will be exhausted through the end of it. But I've identified the best tool to use that has about a rolling 30-day update on their prices is going to be the PCGS price guide. Now, here's one little kind of like fine print moment here in this video. The coins in here are determined off of graded material, like this one here, which, by the way, this coin is on the list as one of the coins that's moving. And here, let me go ahead and show this to you. This is, yes, indeed, it's the 1960 D over D. It's the small over large date Lincoln cent. This coin I bought for $90 about, 18 months ago, and this coin has nearly doubled since then. It's a graded coin. It's Mint State 64 red. But I've noticed that these coins have been slowly ticking up. You can't obtain these for under $20 anymore like you used to for a reasonably circulated example. Coins that are this high a grade are certainly worth many more, like skywards bound type of prices. So what I did was I went into PCGS.com, went into the price guide right here at the top, and have chosen Lincoln cents, and not just any Lincoln cents. We are going to take a look at Lincoln memorials because there's just a wide range of various varieties. So when we're going down through the list, you're going to notice that some of the dates here on the left-hand side will have the PCGS number and then a plus sign. This one has a minus because I actually expanded that. If you hit the plus sign, that'll denote a variety for that particular date, or varieties. These are all, again, the major Cherry Picker's Guide varieties. So we're going to use this tool to determine which specific varieties have been going up in the marketplace here within the last 30 to 45 days. And then there is always going to be some sort of direct correlation between actual graded examples, like the one you see here, and raw examples. Because I guarantee you, the raw version of this coin, ungraded, that's what raw is. It means it's just not a graded coin and encapsulated in plastic, is going to have a different price value in the marketplace because it's not in these things. But at the same time, there is also going to be kind of like the separate market for it. And we're going to, based off of the graded price movements, we'll kind of use that same pricing philosophy for the raw graded coins. So if a coin in a graded slab went up, say, I'm just going to give you an example, 10%, then we would expect for the raw coin of the same or similar grade to go up 10% as well. Of course, there's a lot more attention to higher graded examples because that's what collectors want. That's what the market deems as acceptable for these particular type of coins. So without waiting too much longer, let's go ahead and take a look. So we got the 59 DDO. There is indeed a double to die obverse recognized for 1959 Cherry Picker's Guide, and we don't see any price movements. You'll see like green up arrows, and if you hover above the price for that particular grade, you're going to see how much it went up or went down. The coins where the prices went down will be highlighted in red. We'll see a few of those, but you're going to see, for the most part, a general upward trend on a lot of what I kind of feel like are the more important varieties. So we're over here, the 59 RPM FS501, no price movement. This is kind of a strange one because even though it's on the first date of Lincoln Memorial, and it's an impressive RPM, it's not one that has gained a lot of cult following for it. All right, there's not too many of them out there, and at the same token, there's not nearly as many collectors of that particular coin. And that's why we've seen kind of like stagnated price values, because the market has been really thin here lately of that coin. There's also the 1960 D over D RPM. We see that there's no green up arrows anywhere on the nicer grades at all. Here's some more of the varieties. Keep in mind we have browns, red browns, and full reds. Now, this is the coin right here, ladies and gentlemen. The 60D over D FS101. We find that this one here in full red as 64 has jumped up to $175. If I hover above that, the previous price was at $135. So this thing in 30 days had jumped up to $40 difference. And this is a coin, again, I paid right around $90 for. There was like one of these sold per week on Great Collections. I'm like, I'll go ahead and jump in and buy one. And they were all selling for like $90 to $120 for a 64. I just so happened to get one of the lesser expensive pieces of that type, and then it's all ancient history from there. So yeah, this coin, I have no doubt in my mind, will continue to trend upward. Because we're not seeing nearly as many of these on the open market today than we did 2 years ago. I think just overall supply is really thin, especially for graded examples. If you go over here to the highest grade on that graph right there at Mint State 66 red, the price has gone up $50 from $525 to $575. All right, continuing on down the line, here's another noticeable one, the D over horizontal D 61D FS501. We are at a standstill here. 63D DDO, this is one of my favorites. This is where you have the double 3 is one of the big markers for this one. FS101, we see a few trending up lines here. Not a whole lot. The 65 red jumped up $15. From its 145 price to 160, and also a little bit of a bump here for 64 plus. Here's one that's quite interesting, because I've always thought the 1964 double to die reverse, that's also the FS801, has been undervalued for a long time. And it's actually a very impressive variety. If you guys have ever seen it at all, the thing is really nice. As a matter of fact, let's go ahead and open up this one. That way you guys can see what I'm talking about. So that way it's just not, hey, go on the website and check it out. I'm actually going to work with you guys here. So the FS801 has incredibly impressive doubling with a lot of notching and some splits in the letters, especially around the periphery of United States of America. Sorry about that. I'll give this a moment here to upload. There we go. So United States of America and E pluribus unum show just absolutely incredible doubling. I mean, just look at that right there. You got, again, the notching across all the letters. Even the little dots on there are elongated and doubled as well. So this is like a really complete double to die. But when you go up here to states, you see the notched S and the T and the A and the other T and the E and then the other S and states. The word states is the most impressive word for this double to die. It's incredible. But you see here, this is just a really nice double to die all around. In one sense, it's not as much impressive, but once we get back around here to United States, yeah, you could see it plain and clear. Yeah, this is one I feel like has been undervalued for quite some time, and now we're beginning to see some pretty good price movements here in full red. So let's go ahead and elongate that again. The FS802, I think, is more scarcer, but it's not nearly as nice, if that makes sense. So we see a few down arrows here. Again, people are coveting more of the higher end of the spectrum for grade. For the 801, like for the 66 example, it jumped up $30. So we're beginning to see some interest in this particular variety. If you guys have this raw, ungraded, you might want to consider grading it for the future. I'm not saying this is something that you need to act on immediately. Give it some time. Because let's say, for example, this variety here catches a little bit more steam. It's going to take a while for, say, a mid-state 65 red to go from $110 to $200. Generally 12 months is kind of like that time frame where you see phenomenal, larger kind of upticks in price, kind of like what we were seeing from the 84 double ear and the 83 DDR, which we will see here later on in this video. 66 is another one, the FS101 and the 801, which is a DDR. These are all flat, mostly because there haven't been any in the market. It's such a rare variety that as long as there's none in the marketplace, it's not going to affect the price either way. But the moment that we see the next one pop up on a Heritage Auctions or eBay or Great Collections, that price might move. So that's something to keep an eye out on. 66 DDO is extremely rare, and so is the DDR of that particular coin. 68D RPM and a DDR. RPM seeing a little bit of a price bump in mid-state 65 reds and 65 plus. So jumping up $25 and $10 for just the regular 65 red, respectively, is what we're looking at there. 69D, this is another interesting one. This is like everybody's favorite kind of like buddy, but this is the no FG. Probably coincides with a floating roof because there was a lot of a braided die stuff going on with this one, but it is recognized in the Cherry Picker's Guide. Not particularly a cheap coin too, especially if you're able to find one in the higher end kind of tier of grades, 65, 66. A few $300-$400 is quite pricey for this coin that everybody just keeps finding. 69S DDO, we're seeing a few down arrows, and that's understandable because we've seen a number of AU graded coins hit the marketplace here in the last 90 days, and that's the big reason why that the mid-state 60 dropped $1,500 here. But when we go here to the red browns in 63, a few $1,000s, $4,500 jump up in price, and was a $7,500 increase for a 63 plus. This is a very tough grade because if you can't hit the full red and it's red brown, Yeah, 63 and up is pretty remarkable, and those coins are quite scarce. We just don't see a lot of them. But as you can see, there's a few up arrows on a few of those grades as well. Let's see, 1970s, small date. We see a few up arrows here. In 66 and 67. There must have been a few sales here recently in this particular grade range that has procced this particular grade to go up a little bit. What else do we have here? 70s large date. I believe there is a DDO, FS103, and I believe there's also an RPM, if I'm not mistaken, for 70S. Not in a small date, but a large date. Well, it's not there, but I would assume that that one follows, much like all the other RPMs. And then the large date DDO FS101 is also in here. We have a down arrow for a 64 red, which, believe it or not, is one of the more common grades of that coin that we've seen pop up on great collections. And the 65 red brown went up from $7,000 to $10,000. So here's one of the more impressive performers here in the last month or so, and that's the 71 DDO FS101. We see quite a few up arrows in both red-brown examples and full reds. They jump up like, 15, 25, 50 bucks on a few of these. So again, we're seeing a little bit of movement for this particular one, which, by the way, if you haven't found that error, it's actually one of the more common, very impressive double to dies. The word Liberty on the coin is one of the strongest aspects of this double die, and it's hard to miss. You just need a decent magnifier to make it work. If you don't have one, you're really shooting yourself in the foot. FS102 is another DDO. All right, no movement here. This is not a spectacular one at all. It's very weak. 72. Okay, 72 full reds. This coin right here has been a hot one. And as a result, we're seeing prices continuously going up. This is a coin that is like a sleeping volcano. It's only going to be a matter of time where the middle grade 64s and 65s are going to be $1,000 plus. It's only going to be a matter of time when, not if. All right, that's not even a doubt in my mind. This is a popular, very strong variety. Everybody knows about it. It's in the Red Book, Cherry Picker's Guide. Everybody and their mother knows about that coin. And then if we go on down the line, all the other DDOs from 102 all the way down to 109 are quite flat right now. And let's see. Oh, there's the good old 1974 aluminum. People talk about this. I've never done a video on this coin. It's highly unlikely that I will ever do that because it's just an impossible coin to find. A lot of them were destroyed. Some people have said it's illegal to own, and that's that. All right, so that's see. There's nothing else spectacular in the 70s. So let's go on to page 2, to the 1980s. Where we begin to get a few more spicy coins. How about the 1980 DDO? A very good coin right here. Now, you're going to see a few up arrows for full reds. So, again, a very, very tough variety to even find at all. Especially in full red. Good luck with that. There have been little caches found in like BU rolls, which are brilliant uncirculated rolls from that time period, those were discovered a long time ago, back probably in the 1990s, and we just don't see a lot of them. The ones that do come out in the marketplace are going to be kind of like your AU, low mid state browns, red browns, things that people have found in circulation, and they're just really tough, but it's a good looking error. 1982, I think this is a DDO. Yeah, DDO FS101. This is a good one too. So we're seeing little price increases. The mid-state 66 red, 66 plus rather, went from $800 to $900. So this one is seeing more activity than usual. No price movements in red brown, so full red is definitely the way to go there. Here we go. Now business is starting to pick up. 1983, and we have FS 101, 102, 103. So if we just go roll down here a little bit, you'll see that mid-state red examples have still quite a bit of life left in it, although prices are slowing down. Mid-state 67 red dropped $50. And these coins were not designed to continuously go up and up and up and up. There's going to be some point where they're going to plateau and possibly even retrace a little bit. And we might be seeing that because these things got way too hot, way too fast, especially when you can't even buy in to like a brown or red brown raw example for under $150, where it used to be under $100. Now, good luck trying to find one under $200 for that coin. So again, it's a very popular coin, very, very dramatic doubled die reverse example. And we also have the 84 doubled die obverse. This is the doubled year. We see just just standard pricing across the board. These things had finally settled down because they were getting way too expensive, way too fast. Again, this is a coin that unlikely you're going to find for under $100 unless it has like a myriad of problems. So 84D, this is a DDO FS101, very scarce one here. We don't see a whole lot of them, and as a result, price movements are non-existent, so they are just still the same. Let's see, what's the 87D RPM, right? Yeah, RPM, scarce one as well. This coin in mid-state red is very expensive, even raw condition. I've seen raw ones sell for $100 to $150. That's a coin that, in hindsight, you don't need to get it graded to sell because people know what that is. But they just don't show up in the marketplace because they're that tough to find. 1988. This is the wide AM FS901, or the transitional reverse. So for red browns and reds, no price movements whatsoever. These have been just doing okay. They've been selling and they've been hitting their strides. And it's same for the 88D as well. 88D, wow, we got some price movements here. Quick little $50 increases here and there. The 67 red went up $250. That one is a little bit tougher. I've never personally found an 88D wide AM FS901. I found a Philly a good amount of years ago that I still have, and it's not that particularly great a shape. I would say it's probably like an AU, and it's got a stain or something on it. That's what I do remember about that coin. But they're just, they're out there. People are selling them, but they're not going to be in mid-state condition. And let's see, we got the close AMs. 92P, always a very, very, very hotly pursued coin. The Philadelphia version of this transitional reverse is leagues rarer than the Denver Mint issue. You could just see it in the price value. It's like a 30 to 50% increase of the same grade from D to P. So, some of these are experiencing or enjoying a $1,000 increase at some of these price levels. In 64 red, it went from $10,000 to $11,500. So that's pretty remarkable. And then we're even seeing some price increases for the 92D close AM as well. So 94, this is the DDR. FS801, very nice variety. Just not a lot of it out there in full mid-state red that I've seen sell recently. 95, DDO. Man, this thing right here, for as plentiful as it is, it's actually gotten a little bit of press because we did see a mid-state 69 version that sold for a lot more than $4,900. So, but still, that explains why that one jumped up a little bit. Just kind of throwing a little shade to the importance of this coin that people had found back in the day. With wild success, it was even in the news. So, 95D DDO. FS103, another popular one. No price movements because none have sold here recently. 96, DDO, FS101, another tough one that doesn't pop up in the marketplace. And finally, for the last page here, we're almost done. Almost done. 97, doubled ear, FS101. We got pop up here. There we go. No price movement. Again, nothing in the market that's come out recently. 98 wide AMs. Take a look at that. Take a look at your trend line on full reds. 67 red jumped from 565 to 700. 67 plus 1500 to 1550, and finally 68 red. Good luck finding one of those, by the way. 4500 to 5000. So yeah, a few price increases here. There's been a lot more of these that have hit the market. 99 wide AM. There you go. Prices are very stout. This is the rarest wide AM out of the 98 to 2000 wide AMs. So these are naturally going to be very expensive coins. And then finally the 2000. There you go. The cheapest, I would say, out of the couple. Even Cheerio cents in there. So that's the coin that you find in specially marked boxes of Cheerio cereal back when they were doing the promotion of giving away the new turn of the century cents and dollar coins. But that's what I wanted to check out. 2004 DDR, no price movements there. 2006 DDOs, no price movements here. Just not anything that's popped out in the marketplace recently. But yeah, that's what I wanted to check out for you guys. So yeah, this coin right here, the FS101 1960D, is a hot one right now. 69S double die, always getting a lot of press. 1971 Lincoln Cent FS101 DDO is a big one for this 30-day period. That coin is going a little bit bonkers, and I've noticed that that particular coin is selling for a lot more money, even raw, and not particularly mint state. Like well circulated examples have been selling pretty decently, more so than the usual. So it's little things like that that I pick up on, and then I do a little bit more investigative work, and then I deliver the information to you. So that's going to go ahead and do it for Lincoln Memorial Cents. We'll probably check out Jefferson Nickels next. I expect to do something similar to this as a rolling 90 days, once a quarter type of deal. I don't want to inundate my channel with this type of content where we're just looking at graphs and stuff. It could get kind of boring, but there you go. Yeah, the variety market is plugging along pretty well. I would say that the market as a whole is a little bit above average, which is nice, considering that all the other coins haven't really moved. So something to kind of keep an eye out on, but overall, a nice, very healthy market, lots of demand out there. So that's what I wanted to talk about. I want to thank you guys for tuning in on this video. It was a tremendous pleasure. Best of luck in your hunts, and I guess I'll see you guys next time on that next coin video. All right, you guys take care. Peace.